everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be fitting the small log burner that you've just seen in the intro to our small workshop. So there's nothing there, there's no hole in the roof, it's a flat roof, there's no chimney, flue pipe, top hat. So the camera's slightly out of angle here, but I'm just clearing out the workshop where I'm going to fit it, so moving the spirit levels, taking one of my stock racks off the wall. You can see I just moved the log burner into place here, and you can just see the green arrows just showing us the top of where the flue pipe's going to fit. So what I'm going to do here is use some, I think it's 2.5 inch round pipe. It's a little bit thicker than exhaust pipe, but looks very much like exhaust pipe, so you can just see me measuring it up along the wall there. So what we're going to do is obviously cut a hole through the flat roof. Make sure you get permission before you do that one, guys. Cut a hole in the flat roof, pop the pipe through, weld it up to the log burner. You can just see again the small pipe there, and then we're going to make a top hat up, as you're going to see in this video, and we'll weld the top hat on top of the flat roof from outside. So what I started by doing is obviously I've marked out the bottom of the roof from inside, so I've just got a hole saw that's just ever so slightly bigger than the pipe that we're going to be making the chimney out of. So you can see it there in the Milwaukee drill, so just going to drill that hole in the roof. And what we did then is I made this small right angled piece of steel, turn that into a bracket, couple of holes. I'm just going to mount, level that and screw that up onto the wall there. And what I've done is, and I haven't got this in any of the videos, so I do apologise, I've just welded like a dog leg to the back of the chimney, and that sits on top of that right angled bracket just to take a bit of the weight off and keep it fixed up there on the wall. So it's just tacked onto that bracket as well. So here you can see the bracket mounted on the wall, and you can't see the little dog leg, but that's on the back and that's tacked into place. The flue pipe is, or chimney pipe, is all welded together to the log burner, and you can see it just poking out onto the top of the flat roof. Coincidentally, it was a super cold day when we was doing this as well, as you can see from the roof. Now, where the pipe goes through the roof, we are left with this gap in the roof because the hole cutter was ever so slightly bigger than the pipe. So I haven't got this on camera, but what I did is I took a piece of aluminium, and then I turned that aluminium into like a sleeve, if you like, which fitted over the chimney pipe and then pushed up into that gap in the ceiling and held it really tight. And then I used some sealer to go around that as well, and so far so good, no leaks. What we need to do now is make a top hat for the chimney pipe or the flue pipe, or whatever you want to call it. So we need to make a top hat for that. So I've just got a piece of sheet steel. I've just used a big 9-inch grinding disc just to mark out a circle in the centre on that piece of steel. So I'm going to use a pair of tin snips and cut this circle out. Years of practice, 44 years of practice, which meant that my wrist didn't hurt at all cutting this piece out. So we got the circle cut out. I'm sure there's probably an easier tool to do this, but we're doing it in a manual way. So just cutting this out. This actually came out quite well. I've never done this before. I've never had to make one of these before, so it actually came out reasonably well. The fire is actually on at the moment. You can see I've had my coffee sitting on top of it, which is a bonus because it keeps your tea or your coffee hot. So you can see the steam coming off that to the right hand side. So just finishing up cutting this circle out, and when we finish cutting it, what I need to do is draw a centre line, because I need to cut and turn that into a dome shape Chinese style hat. I don't know what you refer to it as. I just always refer to it as like a top hat. I think maybe you could probably use like a wok. You know, if you can sneak one out the kitchen quick enough without the missus seeing, you could probably use a wok or something like that. That would do the job perfectly. So you can see I've got the circle cut out. Just using a set square just to mark a line down the centre. And we're just going to use the angle grinder just to cut that up the centre of the circle. You can see here I've got the centre line cut out, and then I sort of held it in my hands and thought, can I bend this just by my hands, and realised that that was probably definitely not going to work. So with the absence of any sort of sheet steel roller, what I did is put a piece of metal bar in my bench vise and use that as like a centre. And then I just pushed and worked that top hat around by hand until I got the sort of shape that I was looking for. Then used a tiny little G-clamp just to close the gap back up that had been created, and then I just run a bead of weld on the top and on the bottom of the top hat just to close it up, and I'm just fettling it a little bit there just to get the right shape that I want. So you can see it welded up there, guys. Just got it sitting on a little pot, so I've got it welded up, and what I need to do now is effectively make a way of mounting this top hat to the piece of pipe that's sticking out of the flat roof of the workshop. So this is an offcut of the pipe that we've used to make the chimney, and what I've done is I've made 3 small steel rods, and I've just put a small bend on each one, and apologies I haven't videoed that, but you can see them quite clearly here. So just marked, cut them all out to the same size, marked where I wanted the bends on each one in the same place, and then just put them in the vise and gently ease them round until they all had an identical bend on them. So what I'm going to do here is just probably start with the first one, get that marked up. As you can see, I'm holding it. Just going to put a pen mark around that, just so that I can tack that in place with the MIG welder. So wasn't too difficult to do at all. Just give it a little bit of thought. It wasn't anything too strenuous. So just putting that scrapper pipe in there, holding one of the bent brackets up against that pipe and against the top hat, and then holding it with one hand, put a little pen mark around it, and then you can stop holding that centre piece of off-cut pipe in the middle there. So I'm holding the pipe all the way up against the top hat, which is obviously not where it will sit when it's been fitted. There needs to be a gap between the top of the pipe and the top hat. So absolutely no idea whether this affects the draw through the through a log burner or not, but we are using quite a small diameter pipe, which I can only assume will affect the draw through the log burner as well. So this is all sort of trial and error as to whether this will actually work. It's a small log burner, small flue pipe with a top hat on it, so we will see if it works, and I think there's probably a pretty big spoiler to that at the beginning of this video. So just gonna try and work out how to hold that in place without burning my fingertips off. I'm just going to use the MIG welder to weld that in place. So just tacking that into place there with the help of Tiggs the cat again. If nobody's met Tiggs the cat, click on the link below for the TIG welding trolley video, and you'll see Tiggs the cat helping us out on that one. So got the first one tacked into place. I've got 3 of these to weld into place. So got the first one there, got it leveled up, and then to hold these in place, because I've only got 2 hands and it's quite difficult to sort of get anything to hold the work. That appears to be magic at the moment, but that won't last for long, I'm sure. So what I did is use the cable tie, just to cable tie them to the offcut of the chimney pipe there and hold them in place. So that holds the second one in place quite nicely. So we'll just go ahead now and just tack the second and the third one of these into place, and then weld them up fully, but only to the sheet still, only to the top hat, not to the offcut of the centre pipe, because again this has got to be fitted to the roof of the workshop and not to that piece of pipe fitted on the bench. So Tiggs the cat just helping us here, stopping us from being blinded by the arc on the screen, and just finalising, just putting a decent bit of welding instead of a tack on all of those. So once that was done, I just needed to remove the offcut of pipe and the cable tie, and you can see that they're all sitting nicely in place. So the next step was to grab the angle grinder, flappy disc as normal, and just clean off some of those, or clean off all of those welds on the top hat, I should say. So we just went ahead and cleaned off all the welds there, because we are going to put some paint on it. It is going to live outside, so we obviously don't want it to rust. So I did also run the whole circle, if you like, the whole top hat around my bench grinder. So just going to mask off the bits that we don't want to paint, because when we get up on the roof we need some bare metal to be able to weld to. So we're just going to mask off a little bit here and hit it with 2 or 3 coats of primer first, which is what we've done. But at this point, guys, I'd just like to say, if you could hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, like this video, share it if you know anyone who you think would like to watch it, it would be much appreciated. So just quickly hitting it with a sanding pad just to sort of rough the surface up a little bit before we hit it with any primer, so we're not going too mad here, just sort of keying that surface up. So then we stuck it on a bit of board so we don't get primer everywhere, and then I just hit it with, I think, 3 coats of primer in the end, try and give it a fighting chance up on the roof. Once we've done that, I just grabbed some gloss black and just gave it 2 or 3 coats of gloss black. So once it was all painted and all dried, we need to drag the welder outside, get an extension lead out there, get the ladders out there, and we need to push that over the top of the pipe, which is exactly the same diameter as the offcut that we just used to make those support bars up. So once the paint was all dried and we dragged all the equipment outside, don't forget to adjust your gas settings when you're welding outside on your welder. So here we can see I decided to do it while the log burner was on and smoking everywhere, which I can only assume is the most sensible time to do it. So I didn't need to use a cable tie to hold it in place. It was quite a good fitment over the pipe. So I just popped it over the top and literally just tacked it into place for the minute to make sure that it was working and doing the job. I've also used a bit of roofing sealer and put the stones back around the top of the pipe to prevent any leaks through the flat roof. I'm by no means a roofer by any way, shape or form, so the fact that this is not really leaking is probably some form of miracle. So we've got that all tapped into place, guys, which actually came out really well. It was cold up there today. The frost has disappeared a little bit though. So that's it, guys. It's all fitted. Just seeing me light it here. It's not very big, so you can't put huge pieces of wood or fuel in there, but it does the job. It's only a small workshop. It could do with a way of regulating the air better. At the minute I've been sort of propping this door open with a small piece of steel to adjust the air regulation, but it takes the edge off the workshop, so it's not too cold in there and definitely keeps your coffee nice and warm. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been great to get another video out to you. Next video is probably going to be either a new tube notcher which we've just got, but we've also got a video on the way of a Harley-Davidson 5-speed gearbox that needs some attention and probably a rebuild. So I'll see you for those videos, guys. Don't forget, hit subscribe, hit that bell button, like this video, please comment below if there's anything you'd like to see, and I'll see you soon, guys.